For the first time in Asia, connect your landphone and smartphone through SLT Wi-Fi with the SLT Voice app.
Tonight, into the big league. AdaDerana 24 takes its seat at the top table, next to international news media heavyweights. They came anyway, despite the president's objections to serving police officers testify before the Presidential Commission. In hope or expectation, the SLFP just can't see the former Defence Secretary being a presidential candidate.
But I am doubt that he is in a position to come.
Whipping boys. Records tumble as England help themselves to plenty against Afghanistan. All that and much more coming up on First at 9 this Tuesday, the 18th of June, 2019.
මුහුණ සති කීපයකට කලින් Fair and Lovely men ගෑවට පස්සේ මාක්ස් අඩු වෙලා ෆෑනස් වැඩි වෙලා.
මාක්ස් අඩු කරලා ඔයාගේ ෆෑනස් ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එක වැඩි කරගන්න. Fair and Lovely men anti-marks cream.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Dhammika Kanayaka. Let's start with your local stories. At the turn of the year, AdaDerana ensured that audiences saw the age-old concept of news through a novel prism, conforming to international standards with the aid of cutting-edge technology. Now there is cause for celebrations here as our efforts had been given the due international recognition. AdaDerana 24 were given 2 accolades at the Broadcast Production Awards in New York, with the newly launched Studio 24's lighting and AdaDerana news theme music being considered for top awards. AdaDerana 24 is among prestigious company as household global names in the media industry, news media that is. BBC, Sky, ABC News and RT America are also winners in various other categories.
As US-based Newscast Studio celebrates their 10th anniversary of their Set of the Year Awards, a Sri Lankan news channel is also recognized for the first time in the history of the awards. From scenic design and music production to motion graphics and technology, the Broadcast Production Awards recognizes the hard work of those behind the camera in the broadcast industry all over the world. A Sri Lankan television channel has never been garlanded at this prestigious awards until AdaDerana 24 reinvented the local news perception here in Sri Lanka. AdaDerana won the Best News Studio Lighting Award for our state-of-the-art Studio 24. The Studio 24 is one of the largest studios in South Asia and boasts all the latest technology. Our accolades do not stop with studio lighting, as the award for the Best News Theme Music is also heading towards a shelf at AdaDerana. This global recognition given to AdaDerana's production achievements leave international household names in news such as CNN, ESPN and NBC, who were past winners in the same category at this wake. The awards were announced on the official website of New York's Newscast Studio, and the winners of the Broadcast Production Awards were announced following deliberations by a panel of international professional experts. AdaDerana's achievement carries more significance since 200 nominations from 70 countries were considered for this recognition. With the launch of Studio 24 on the 1st of January this year, AdaDerana transformed the news experience by breaking away from traditional Sri Lankan news convention, enriching and enhancing viewer indulgence. The official awards presentation is set to be worked off at a later date in New York.
Now moving on with other news, the Parliamentary Select Committee probing the Easter Sunday attacks convened for a 5th day today. The committee mainly focused on the area of Kathankudi, where it is believed that ringleader of April terrorist attacks started his illegal activities from. Officer in charge of the Kathangudi police station, MP Kasturiyarachi, first appeared before the committee to give his testimony.
ඔබතුමා දැන් මේ කොට්ටාශය බණකලපු කොට්ටාශය සහ කාතන්කුඩිය පොලිස් ස්ථානය සම්බන්ධ වෙලා රාජකාරී කටයුතු ආරම්භ කරන කවදාද ආරම්භ කරේ කවද වෙනකන් දැන්
මම 2017 අගෝස්තු 1 වෙනිදා ස්ථානාධිපති කාතන්කුඩිය වශයෙන්
I took office as the officer in charge of Kathangudi police station on the 1st of August in 2017. During that time, I got to know of an ongoing court case against a group including Zaran. Him, his brother and an individual called Ami Mohideen had fled the area because of this court case. But I also got to know that when Zaran was there in Kathangudi, there were acts of violence each Friday.
ආරාන්ගේ පිරිස මොකක්ද ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබ්බද?
කිසිම එහෙම පැමිණිල්ලක් පොලිස් ස්ථානයට ලැබිලා නැහැ.
එතකොට සහරාන් පාර්ශවය ඔබතුමා වැඩ බාරගත්තට පස්සේ ඒ ප්‍රදේශයේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වුණේම නැද්ද?
නේම නැහැ. සත්‍ය වශයෙන් මොකද ප්‍රධාන 13 දෙනෙක් මේකේ අතනුර අරන් තිබුණා ඒකට හිටපු ස්ථානාධිපති.
හිටපු 13 දෙනා අප්‍රේල් 21 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට අප පිටේ ඉඳලා නැත්නම් දිගටම ඇතුළේ
අප ලබා ගන්න තිබුණා.
උන්ට අප ලැබුණේ කෝ කාලේ?
වසරකට පමණ පසුව තමයි උන්ට අප ලබා දුන්නේ අධිකරණය ගරු අධිකරණය.
අර මේ අප්‍රේල් 17 වෙනිදා පළමුණෙයි ප්‍රදේශයේ සිදුවීමක් සිදු වුණා කියන කම්ප්ලේන් එකක් එනවා. මේක ගැන අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් විස්තර කරන්න. ඒ කම්ප්ලේන් එකේ මොකක්ද උනේ කිව්වේ?
17 වෙනිදා මේ ඉඩමේ අයිතිකරු එනවා. ඔහුගේ ඉඩමේ යතුරු පැදියක් ගිනිගෙන තියනවා කියලා. එම අවස්ථාවේ මමයි අපරාධ ස්ථානාධිපති සිද්ධියට යනවා. ඉන්න අනතුරු අපි ගිහිල්ලා විමර්ශනය කරාම අපිට ඒ අවස්ථාවේ හැංගියනවා මේක පිපිරීමක් කියලා. සිද්ධ වෙලා තිබුණ නිශ්චිත දිනයක් අනාවරණය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. පැමිණිල්ලක් ලැබෙන්නේ 17 වෙනිදා. ඒ බයිසිකලේ යතුරුපැදිය දැක්කාම ගිනි ගැනීමක් නෙමෙයි පිපිරීමක් කියන එක පැහැදිලිව දැర్శණය වුණා. මොකද මේ හරියේ මනුෂ්‍ය වාසයක් නැහැ. ආසන්නෙම තියෙන්නේ යුද හමුදා කඳවුරක්. මොකද එදා ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම ගොරෝලා අකුණු ගහපු දිනයක්.
ඒ ඉඩම අක්කර කීයක් විතර ඉඩම?
අක්කර 43ක්.
අක්කර 43.
ඔය යතුරුපැදිය කාතකුඩි ප්‍රදේශයේ එකක් නෙමෙයි. ඒක කැලණියේ ප්‍රදේශයේ යතුරුපැදියක් යතුරුපැදි දෙකක්. ඒක සේල් එකකින් තමයි මේගොල්ලෝ මිලේට ගන්න ගිහිල්ලා සිංහල පුද්ගලකේ හැඳුම්පතක් භාවිත කළා.
දැන් මෙතන කිව්වේ ඔබතුමා පුනා කියන්නේ ඔබතුමාගේ ප්‍රදේශයේ සාමකාමීව තිබුණා කියලා.
එහෙමයි.
බැලින් ත්‍රස්තවාදී පුහුණු වෙන ස්ථානයක් සහ බෝම්බාදියක් තිබුණා ඒක ඇතුළේ.
බෝම්බ තිබුණා.
දැන් පුපුරාගත්තේ ඒවනේ අන්තිමට. සයින්ද මර්දුවල.
සයින්ද පරිදුවල. ඒ මගේ වසමේ තිබිච්ච ඒවා ටික.
මේ කියවුණා හුඟක් තැන්වලදී කාතන්කුඩි ප්‍රදේශයේ මේ කුමක් හෝ හේතුවක් නිසා හෙල්මට් දාන්න නැතුව ඉන්නේ.
මම තමයි හෙල්මට් නීතිය ඉගෙනුවේ කාතන්කුඩියට.
මොකද කලින් නිකන් එහාට විශේෂ නීතියක් බලපෑවා වගේ තමයි නේ. ඔය කියන චෝදනාව යම් ඇත්තක් තියෙනවද එතකොට නේ?
නෑ ඒක කාතන්කුඩි වලට විතර නෙවෙයි බේරුවලත් තියෙනවා.
එහෙමත් තියෙනවා.
ඒ කියන්නේ එහෙනම්
මුස්ලිම්
ඊට පස්සේ මේ ආණ්ඩුකාරතුමාගේ නිල නිවසේද කොහෙද මේ ෆයර් ආම්ස් නැත්තම් බුලට්ස් මොනවාරි හම්බුනන්නේ
STF එකකින් ගන්නේ.
ඔව් STF ගිලා ගත්තා. ඒ මොන ස්ථානයේද ඒක?
ඒක තිබුණේ ඔහු විසින් පාවිච්චි කරන ලද පරණ කාර්යාලයේ පොලිස් නිලධාරීන් විසින් භාවිත කරලා තිබුණ කාමරයක් තිබුණා. ඒ තුල තිබිච්ච බෑග් එකක තිබිලා තමයි එතන ස්ට්‍රෝම් බොක්සස් දැන්ටත් තියෙනවා. දැන්ට විමර්ශනය කරනවා මේ පතුරම යුද හමුදාවට නිකුත් කරපුවද පරීක්ෂණ.
තාම ඒක අනාවරණය වෙලා නැහැ. කවුද නිකුත් කරපු?
නැහැ අධිකරණ නියෝගයක් කරන් තියෙනවා ෆීල්ඩ් ෆෝස් වලට ඒවල ඒක අනාවරණය කරගන්න.
මැද පෙරදිග රටවලින් විශාල පිරිසක් සංචාරක වෙනවා මේ පැත්තට.
මුල් අවධියේදී එහෙම තිබිලා තියෙනවා.
කවුරුහරි පුද්ගලයෙක් කිව්වා මේ අරාබි අකුරු පාවිච්චි කරේ මොකද විශාල පිරිස සංචාරක වෙනවා. නමුත් ඔබතුමා කියන හැටියට එහෙම විශාල සංචාරක පිරිසක් ප්‍රතිශාවේ නැහැ.
මම ආවට පස්සේ නම් සංචාරක විශාල.
කියන්නේ 2017
සංචාරකයන්ගේ ටුවරිස්ට් ඩෙස්ටිනේෂන් එකක් නෙවෙයි.
නෑ.
Meanwhile, former officer in charge of the Kathangudi police station, Aryabandu Wedagedara, was the next to be in the hot seat before the Parliamentary Select Committee probing the Easter attacks. He was questioned on the activities in the area of Kathangudi from 2014 to 2017.
අපිට පිළිගන්න ඕනේ කාත්තන්කුඩිය 2017 මේක මහා අන්තවාදී තැනකට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා, තල්ලු වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේක ත්‍රස්තවාදී කල්ලියක් වශයෙන් පටන් ගන්න තියෙන තැනක් නෙමෙයි. ඒකෙක්ට පුළුවන් ඔය කරන්න පොලිසියක් ඕනේ නැහැ. ලේසි මේක වුණාට පස්සේ ඔබතුමාගේ ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න
ඔව් සර් මේක මේ අර සුනාමිය දැනගත්තා වගේ තමයි
අන්න හරි ඒක මම පිළිගන්නවා.
ඇවිල්ලා ගියාට පස්සේ තමයි මේ කිසිම අපි මේ හිතන්න පටන් ගන්නෙ.
අඩු ගානේ තමුන්නාන්සේ මේ වාර්තා කරාද පොලිස් මූලස්ථානයට මෙන්න මේ වැනි සිදුවීම් ඒකෙන් එක එනකොට වාර්තාවක් යවුවද? එහෙමනේ බුද්ධි අංශය දන්නේ.
දවසින් දවස සතියෙන් සතිය මාසෙන් මාසෙ මාස 3න් 3 6න් 6 ඒ බුද්ධි අංශ වාර්තාස ඒ විදිහට යනවා. අපෙත් එදිනදා දෛනික සිදුවීම් සම්බන්ධ වාර්තා යනවා සර්.
මීට කලින් මෙතෙන්ට ඇවිල්ලා සාක්ෂි දුන්න අසත්සාලි මහත්මයා කියනවා සහරාන් ගෙවල් 120කට ගිනි තියෙනවා ඊස්ටර්න් ප්‍රොවින්ස් එකේ. එකමක් තියනවාද?
නෑ මගේ රාජකාරී කාල සීමාව සුර එහෙම කම්ප්ලේන්ට් එකක් වාර්තා වෙලා නෑ සර්.
ඒ වගේම අසත්සාලි මහත්මයා මෙහෙම කියන මම ඒක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් කියවනවා 2017 පොලිසියෙන් ගිහිල්ලා කිසිම දෙයක් කළේ නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ පොලිසිය දාපු ප්‍රශේකයට මිනිස්සු උද්ඝෝෂණ කෙරුවා. මිනිස්සු පාරට බැහැලා උද්ඝෝෂණය කරනවා සහරාන්ව ඇරස් කරන්න කියලා. එතකොටත් ඇරස් කෙරුවේ නැහැ. මොනවත් කෙරුවේ නැහැ. ඇරස් කරන්න ලෑස්තුන OIC වහාම ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් කළා. ඒ ඔබතුමා ගැන කියන්නේ තවහිද් ජමාත් එක ගත්තාම 2005 ඉඳලා ගත්තාම සම්පූර්ණ පොලිසියයි තවහිද් ජමාත් එකයි එකට වැඩ කෙරුවේ. පාරම්පරික මුස්ලිම් කෙනෙකුට ගිහිල්ලා පොලිසිය පැමිණිලක් දමන්න බෑ. එළෙව්වා පොලිසියෙන්. මේ ප්‍රකාශය සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමාට මොකද?
මම ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරනවා සර් එහෙම කිසිම සිද්ධියක් වෙලා නැහැ.
මේක සඩන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් එකක්ද?
නෑ සර් මගේ කාල සීමාව අවුරුදු 3 අවසන්.
සහරාන් අල්ලන්න ගිහලා ඔබතුමා ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර් කරා කියන එක
නෑ සර් නෑ මට එහෙම නෑ
අබ්දුල් රසාක් කියලා කෙනෙක් හිටියද? මෙහා ආණ්ඩුකාරයාගෙන් හිටපු ආපු ගාම කිව්වා ඔව් මට දවස් 3කට ඉස්සෙල්ලා ටෙලිෆෝන් කරා කියලා කිව්වා. ඒකට එවැනි චරිතයක් ගැන ඔබතුමා අහලම තිබ්බේ නැද්ද?
නෑ සර් මට එහෙම වාර්තා වෙලා නෑ.
2015 ජනාධිපතිවරණයේ වෙලාවේ සහරාන් මොනවද කරේ?
ඒ දේශපාලන කටයුතු සර් මේ කරගෙන ගියා මට එහෙම ඒගොල්ලෝ පැමිණිලි එහෙම ආවේ නෑ සර් මට. තාරාංශය එතකොට අපිට සාමාන්‍ය චරිතයක්.
ඔබට කලින් සාක්ෂි දුන්න ඔබට පසුව ස්ථානාධිපතිලා හිටපු පොලිස් පරීක්ෂකතුමා කිව්වා එතුමා එනකොට බොහොම ප්‍රචලිත වුණ දෙයක් තමයි මේ හෙල්මට් නැතිව නීතිය ප්‍රසිද්ධිය කඩමින් කටයුතු කිරීම.
එහෙම අවස්ථාවකට ඉඩ තියලා තිබ්බේ නෑ සර්.
මේ 2014 අවුරුදු 3ේදී කාත්තන්කුඩි ප්‍රදේශයේ අරාබිකරණය සම්බන්ධයෙන් යම් නිරීක්ෂණයක් තිබුණාද? එහෙම එකක් ඔබතුමා නිරීක්ෂණය වුණාද?
ඔව් තියෙනවා එහෙම එකක්.
ඔබතුමා යනකොටත් පටන් අරගෙන තිබුණාද?
ඔව්. එයාගේ මේ විදිහට හැම එකම කරලා තියෙනවා.
මොකද කාත්තන්කුඩි මුස්ලිම් දේවස්ථාන සංගමේ වෙනුවෙන් සාක්ෂි දුන්නු සාක්ෂිකරු කියා සිටියා හිස්බුල්ලා මහත්මයා කාලේ තමයි උනේ කියලා. ඔහුගේ අනුග්‍රහයක් තියෙන බව තමයි අපිට ඒ සාක්ෂි වලින් දැනුනේ.
ඔය ඉන්න මහත්තුමා හිස්බුල්ලා මහත්තයා විතරයි මේ මිනිස්සුගෙන් උඩින්න සර්.
Now, as promised by certain ministers last week, the cabinet meeting went ahead today with President Maithripala Sirisena chairing the proceedings. The meeting takes special significance since the president had allegedly threatened to boycott the cabinet if the proceedings of the Parliamentary Select Committee probing Easter attacks are not halted. Although the cabinet was not convened last week, ministers who were present for today's meeting, however, painted an amicable picture of the session.
President Maithripala Sirisena convened an emergency cabinet meeting on 7th of June to express his objection on proceedings of the Parliamentary Select Committee probing Easter Sunday attacks. The head of state had also announced that he will not be attending any cabinet meetings if the PSC continues its proceedings. As a result, the cabinet, which meets every Tuesday, did not convene on 11th of June. A week later, however, the meeting was held today under the patronage of the President. Acting Minister Lucky Jawadana, Buddhika Patirana and Anuma Gamage, who were appointed for the vacant ministerial positions of former ministers Rauf Hakim, Rishad Badiuddin and Kabi Hashim, also attended today's meeting.
වෙනදා වගේ කැබිනට් එකේ සාකච්ඡා කරන කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකා සාකච්ඡා කරන ලැබුව එච්චරයි. වෙන විශේෂ දෙයක් නෑ. එක සතියක් තමයි නැතුව තිබ්බේ. දැන් මේ සතියෙන් ඉඳන් එකටම කැබිනට් යනවා. විශේෂ කරුණු සම්බන්ධයෙන් සාකච්ඡා කරේ නෑ. නෑ විශේෂ කාරණයක් නෑ. කැබිනට් පත්‍රිකා තිබ්බේ ඔක්කොම සාකච්ඡා කරලා ඒවා සියල්ලම ඉටු කරනවා. කැබිනට් එකේ සාකච්ඡා මෙතන කියන්නේ බෑනේ. ඒ ඉතින් කැබිනට් ප්‍රකාශ කරලා ගියයි. විශේෂ කාරණා මොකද සාකච්ඡා වුණා? විශේෂ නෑ. විශේෂ දෙයක් සාකච්ඡා වුණේ. කොළඹ වරායට දාන
The Prime Minister, as well as Finance and Port Ministers, will hold a special discussion today on whether to allow a barge at the Colombo harbour or not. It is crucial for the electricity supply. Otherwise, there will be an electricity supply crisis. Everything was discussed in a friendly manner.
බොහොම මිත්‍රශීලී බොහොම සාර්ථක සෝතාවේ මිත්‍රත්වය.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party insists that nothing can prevent President Maithripala Sirisena from being the presidential candidate. Airing views on the proposed alliance between the SLFP and the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna today, General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, MP Dasiri Jayasekara, said that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa should be nominated as the premiership, or for the premiership rather. He also expressed doubts over former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa's presidential candidacy.
He is one of the candidates, as Bojana Peramuni is mentioning, but I am doubt that he is in a position to come. My personal opinion is our president should be the next presidential candidate.
A presidential candidate should be able to obtain 6.5 million votes for a win. That can only happen if the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna partners up with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. It is then that we can have a successful election campaign. Based on this, moving forward in the election campaign, we as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party proposes that President Maithripala Sirisena become the next presidential candidate, while former President Mahinda Rajapaksa be nominated as the Prime Minister. I wish to state that nothing can prevent President Maithripala Sirisena being nominated as the presidential candidate. We can see that the President's powers have been significantly curtailed. Even if Gotabaya Rajapaksa becomes the president, he will not have enough powers to make major changes to the country. Just read the 19th Amendment to the Constitution and see what powers the president have. Former Deputy Minister of the United National Party, MP Faisal Qasim, says that discussions relating to ministerial positions of Muslim ministers who resigned from their posts recently ended in stalemate today. Speaking to media following a meeting held at the parliamentary premises, Qasim said that further discussions will be held with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on the matter as there are more issues to be ironed out. However, UNP MP Mujibur Rahman had diverging views. We still haven't come to a decision on our posts. We will speak tonight as well. The main issue that we have is the public safety, and we have other issues to sort out. We will have to speak to the Prime Minister today and reach a decision. This is a possibility. We have given them a month. We will have to wait until that period is over to decide on what we will do. We came to an agreement with regards to the discussions on ministerial positions. Ministerial positions will only be accepted if the leaders of their respective parties invite them back to take up the positions. He said that he will wait until the investigations against him are over and make a decision based on the outcome of the report on the investigations. Now, in other stories, the Court of Appeal has rejected a writ petition and a petition for revision filed by former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa, seeking the court to void the order delivered by the Permanent High Court at Bar with regards to the DA Rajapaksa Museum case. The petitions were taken up before the Appeals Court today. When the petitions were taken, counsels representing the Attorney General's Department presented preliminary objections stating that the appeals court does not have the jurisdiction to hear the petitions. Hence, they sought the court to reject the petitions without hearing them. Accepting the preliminary objections, the Court of Appeal decided to reject the writ petition and the petition for revision filed by the former Defence Secretary. Rajapaksa had stated that the Permanent High Court at Bar does not have the jurisdiction to hear the case filed against him by the Attorney General over the alleged misappropriation of state funds amounting to 34 million rupees during the construction of the DA Rajapaksa Museum. In the meantime, President Maithripala Sirisena has granted an extension of service to Army Chief of Staff Major General Shavendra Silva. The service extension is effective from the 22nd of June until the 31st of December this year. Major General Silva joined the Army in 1984 and rose through the ranks of Second Lieutenant, or Lieutenant rather, and Major General before becoming the Chief of Staff, the second highest position in the Army. There is more news coming up on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now taking a look at the external sector performance, it has remained relatively stable in the month of April, supported by a contracting trade deficit. The central bank says the deficit in the trade account narrowed to $797 million from $999 million in the April last year due to an 11% year-on-year decline in import expenditure and a marginal increase in export earnings. Tourism, however, witnessed a decline of 7.5% for the month of April compared to last year due to the Easter Sunday attacks.
The deficit in the trade account narrowed significantly in April 2019 in comparison to the corresponding month of the previous year due to a considerable reduction in imports. Meanwhile, on a cumulative basis, the deficit in the trade account contracted noticeably to $2.45 billion during the first 4 months of 2019 in comparison to $3.98 billion recorded in the corresponding period of 2018. According to the central bank, earnings from industrial and merchandise exports increased marginally by 0.4% year-on-year to $798 million in April this year due to an increase in industrial and mineral exports despite a reduction in agricultural exports. Furthermore, in the month of April, expenditure on merchandise imports declined by 110% to $1.59 billion on a year-on-year basis, recording a decline for the 6th consecutive month. This was mainly due to lower imports of consumer goods and intermediate goods, particularly in gold and fuel, despite an increase recorded in investment goods imports. Meanwhile, earnings from tourism recorded a decline in April in comparison to corresponding period of 2018 owing to the drop in the number of tourist arrivals during the month. Tourist arrivals registered a year-on-year decline of 7.5% with 166,975 tourists having visited the island during April. Furthermore, as at end April this year, Sri Lanka's gross official reserves were estimated at $7.2 billion, equivalent to 4.1 months of imports.
And now to bring you a market update, the Colombo shares dropped to a 7-day low today as foreign investors exited from Sri Lanka's risky assets. The benchmark index ended 0.17% weaker, its lowest close since last week, but market turnover was twice this year's daily average, closing today at 1.1 billion rupees. Foreign investors sold a net 106.3 million rupees worth of shares, extending the net foreign outflow for the past 7 days to 522.6 million rupees. We have a brief report on today's market performance now.
Both capital market witnessed dull sentiment today. The bond market yield curve remained relatively unchanged, with a greater number of market participants remain on the sideline ahead tomorrow primary bill auction. The limited buying interest was seen on primary centered on the short-term maturities. The stock market ended on a negative, mainly dragged down by Nestle and distilleries, while the turnover conservatively touched 1 billion. And with a multiple crossing. A net foreign outflow was witnessed with a moderate foreign participation.
Taking you through the currency rates, the Sri Lankan rupee ended weak at 176 rupees and 80 to 85 cents on dollar demand from importers. The rupee has dropped 0.14% during last week, but it is up 3.28% for the year. Let's now take a look at today's foreign currency rates. Now then, you may have heard of the name Rotary Club and may have even seen their stickers on vehicles. But how much do you know about this global network with 1.2 million people geared towards bringing lasting change across the globe, as well as its services? Among its achievements, Rotary Club's branch in Sri Lanka has been instrumental in initiating wellness and educational projects in the country, particularly in eradicating polio. Speaking to First at 9, District Governor of Rotary Club for Sri Lanka and the Maldives, Dushan Zoza, acknowledged the entity's lack of publicity, which results in Sri Lanka missing out on the opportunity of benefiting from the organisation.
Rotary is well structured in a manner that there are 6 focus areas which Rotary itself is helping out with funding. If you plug any project into those 6 focus areas, we can apply for what we call global grants and then get funding out of Rotary. Polio was the flagship project of Rotary. If you talk about Rotary worldwide, Rotary has been combating the polio disease for the last 30 odd years in collaboration with the governments and the World Health Organization and so on. The latest numbers we have is that there are only 24 cases that have been reported this year. 7 from Afghanistan and 17 from Pakistan. The non-endemic countries are polio-free, including Sri Lanka, which was declared polio-free at the turn of the decade. We are down to the last 24 cases. To eradicate these 24 cases and future generations, it will cost us more than $1 billion at this point of time, and such funding is being raised. Over the next 2 years, we will move towards what we call a year of surveillance, where the polio cases reported would be 0, and then we would get into surveillance in order to then declare the world is polio-free. So that's the end goal of Rotary.
District Governor for Sri Lanka and Maldives of the Rotary Club, Dushant Souza, also touched on Rotary's hand in helping to revive the country's tourism industry in the aftermath of the recent spate of attacks.
We do communicate with several Rotary clubs around the world, and that's a good vehicle for us to communicate to say there's normalcy in the country. So many Rotarians across the world know that because they're communicating with Sri Lanka, firstly to give us assistance to combat the situation. But on the tourism in particular, again, the Rotarians have signed up a MOU with the Hospitality Training School to provide free hospitality training in all the different aspects of hospitality, absolutely free of charge for children who are coming from families who are below poverty levels. And not only that, once they qualify through that program, to give them an internship, initially with the hotels that are run by Rotarians themselves.
Souza believes that Rotary can become a greater project manager and offer more to the country with the resources and skills the organization possess. He is also of the view that Rotary has failed to give itself the publicity it deserves within the country, which in turn has made achieving its targets needlessly harder.
We have a group called Interactors, which are in the schools from the age of 12 to 18. And then we have an intermediate group called the Rotaractors from 18 to 30 years, and then the Rotarians, which means that we have a reach all the way to 12 years and upwards in a single architectured organization. So with that kind of resource that Rotarians bring to the table, I believe we could be great at project management, because we can roll out any program instantaneously across the country. So even if the government wants to partner the Rotarians on a national level project, I think Rotary is the best organization because the skills we have in project management, and as I explained, the whole reach we have. If that message can go out together, then I believe we can do a lot more than what we are trying to do now. Rotarians have done a bad job in telling our country what is all the work that we are doing. Over a journey of say 3 to 5 years, we want to get into a deep penetration into the community. So that is something we need to do with our publicity. And the day we can get people to come to Rotary and not the other way around, I think that's the day that we would have achieved these results in this journey.
We're going to move in for a very short break, but when we come back, we take a look at what's happening around the world. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Former Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi, who collapsed in court and died yesterday, has been buried hours after passing. His lawyer told media that the former leader had been buried in eastern Cairo early this morning with his family present. Morsi, who was 67, had been in custody since his removal from office in 2013. Human rights groups who had criticized the conditions in which he was kept have called for an impartial investigation into his death. His family and activists had repeatedly raised concerns about his health and the amount of time he was accorded with attorneys. His son Abdullah Mohamed Morsi told Reuters that Egyptian authorities had denied a family request for a public funeral in his hometown. Shifting the focus to Asia, at least 12 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in a strong earthquake which shook the southwestern Chinese province of Sichuan. The magnitude 6 earthquake struck near Yibing in Changning County, southeast of the provincial capital Chengdong, late yesterday. It was followed by several powerful aftershocks. TV footage showed rescuers pulling injured people from the rubble of collapsed buildings. State media say that more than 4,000 people had to be relocated because their homes were destroyed or damaged. And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.